Okay, so don't talk over me. I want Dre to force you on the fact that you haven't answered any of my questions.
Okay,
I want you to answer my question.
Hold on a second.
Hold on, real quick.
This guy's doing a monologue. He's doing a monologue.
Answer the question, Asher.
Hold on, real quick. No, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Okay.
Let's not do that. Hold on.
So let me respond to his question.
Hold on.
That's why I refuted him on Clubhouse. I wiped my rear with them. I'm going to wipe my rear with them right now, too.
That's actually not true. That's actually not true.
All right. Everybody calm down just a second, please. Everybody calm down. Let's listen. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm going to let you go on uninterrupted, Rabbi Asher. Can you just pose the question alone, Albee, one more time for everybody that's watching?
He doesn't have to do it again. I got it. Okay.
Show me within the first 10
centuries. I said the
centuries.
first. No, stop. Okay.
Show me within the first 10 centuries.
I'm not going to answer the question how he wants, to ask it.
That's Shiloh is not an idiom for the Messiah.
Oh, he's changing it now.
That it is.
Okay.
So I don't care about your 21st century interpretation. Okay. I wipe it with Coptic's rear.
Okay. Interesting. So if you believe that Genesis 49 says that the scepter will not depart from Judah till Shiloh comes, what do you think happened after the first exile? It was Judah. And at this time, there was a Judah and a northern kingdom, and it was overthrown by Nebuchadnezzar, i.e., the throne of King David and then Solomon, right? They were stripped from their scepter. They were redeemed with Ezra and Nehemiah, and then they were stripped of it again, right? So, if this is referring to some future event, why did the exact thing happen in the time of Ezra and Nehemiah?
So either he's going to leave or I'm going to leave, one of the two, because he's not answering my question.
Let me just.
I just answered your question. No. Wait, hold on. I just asked a question.
I'm sorry, you deflected. You didn't address any of the points he said. You didn't bring any references.
He hasn't told us who Shiloh is.
Nobody knows. I said nobody knows who Shiloh is.
Yo, wait. Prove that Moses is a false.
Oh my gosh! Here, look.
Everyone, stop.
I asked him the question.
One second. I know. I'm going to reset the room. 1 second, please. Everyone, just relax, breathe. Right. The claim was because Albee brought some sources through, some Jewish interpretations as to what the opinions are of some of the rabbinical understandings of what Shiloh means. Asher is saying that just because it's an opinion does not make it binding on his position of what he understands is true according to the Hebrew Bible. Right, that's what he's saying.
Yes, and can he answer my question?
Cool,
but Albee's on the affirmative. He's using the affirmative of what the Jewish sources are affirming in opinion, in opposition to the opinion of Asher. Now the question is, why do you reject? And this is a better question. Why do you reject?
No. Wait. It's a dialogue. I mean, I have to be able to ask him questions based on on his reasoning. So. Isn't the Babylonian exile? Without
you answering the question, answer my question.
I've already responded to you. Can you respond to me?
No, you haven't responded.
He did.
So you have no evidence. Just say you have no evidence, and this is Asher's.
Can you respond to me? He's not going to respond to any questions because he doesn't have an answer to this.
Okay, so make your point, but I do have a question just for you after.
I'm asking him a question. Doesn't the Babylonian exile?
I wipe it with Coptic's rear.
Look, he expects me to ask questions. Hold on.
Answer the question or say that you don't have any sources and that you're a dumb donkey.
Yeah, Rabbi, listen.
So he's not going to answer any of my questions. Now it's my turn to ask him a question. Okay.
Rabbi Asher, you can ask him the question. I just want to say one thing.
No. Don't interrupt. Please don't interrupt.
Please, Habibi, please.
Okay. All right.
Just for you.
Now, can you tell me how the first Babylonian exile?
I take your question and I wipe it with Coptic's rear.
Okay, so then all right, cool. So Rabbi Asher, he doesn't want to answer the question. Are you okay with shifting the conversation towards Coptic?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Wait. So then I responded to him and he doesn't respond to me. So that's 1 point for me and 0 points for him.
Okay. It's not. You didn't bring any sources. You brought your own opinion that no one cares about.
I just told him.
So we're going to shift.
You brought your opinion that no one cares about. He brought you the opinions of the rabbis.
The dialogue is between me and Albee. Why does it have to be?
It's okay.
I'm just asking you. You brought me into it. You brought me into it, man.
He's going to yield. Hold on. He's going to yield. Okay. It's clear. We can't.
What would I care about your opinion for, Rabbi Asher?
We can't force. 1 second, please. We can't force an answer. If Albee doesn't want to respond, it's been made clear. We're yielding the convo.
Yo, Keon, it's not that we're forcing a response. I want him to
admit that
he has. Shut up, Asher. He has to admit that he has no sources and that this is his personal interpretation. That's what
no one cares about it.
So in light of the position, though, right? He's not saying that there aren't sources. He's saying that there's an opinion on both sides, on the affirmative and for
Give me the other side.
Where's his sources? One second. Where's his sources?
So let's do this.
Opinions that don't agree with that. Where's his sources?
Exactly. So let's do that. Where's those sources?
Because here's the question. Here's the question. I just want to say this quickly. I haven't spoken for a while. Rabbi Asher, with all respect, no one cares about your personal opinion. You're not a rabbi.
Okay.
One second, Habibi. No one cares. If you're going to bring an opinion,
if you're going to insult me, so I'm not going to dialogue. You guys clearly don't want to back and forth.
Hold on. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
No insult. There's not an insult, Rabbi Asher. The question. No, you didn't. The question is.
No, he said I'm not a rabbi.
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. He said I know that you're a rabbi.
You're not.
He said.
I said you're not a rabbi of authority for us to hear your
authority, right? Okay.
So what I'm saying is, Albee brought you targums, he brought you sources where he said to you, hey, listen,
that's
your
opinion
own people,
literature. Opinion literature. The word Shiloh doesn't mean Messiah. I'm not having a dialogue with you.
Hold on.
In Sanhedrin 98b, it says Shiloh is the Messiah. You understand?
Yeah, so that is an opinion. It's an opinion, Rabbi Asher, but it is an opinion that is documented. This is a documented opinion.
By multiple sources I brought up.
Obviously, the reason we have opinions over 1,000 years old is because they're documented.
Let me get to the bottom of this, Albee. Let me try to get to the bottom. No, I understand what you're saying, Rabbi Asher, but now the question is, you said that there's other opinions that say that it is not. That's what we're asking for.
The literal meaning of Shiloh does not mean Messiah. It's a later interpretation,
they don't
right?
Care
that
about
it could possibly
bring us
no,
evidence.
literally. Find another
problem, Dre. There's no evidence based on what he's saying. He's got no evidence. That's why I'm upset.
And by the way, the word aharit in Hebrew, it does mean latter time, prophetic, future time. Literally, that's what it means.
Aharit means later. That's what it means.
Latter time, prophetic.
Not prophetic. No, not prophetic. Okay, I mean, just look it up.
End time issue. I'm looking at it right now.
Because you're reading from a Christian dictionary. Aharit, right? Now from ahad, it just means later. Aharit hayamim, in later days. Christians want to put prophetic days because they have these preconceived notions.
Even if you don't say prophetic days, though, it says the last, the end, hence, future, posterity, right? These are all future tense,
It just means later. I mean, type it into a Hebrew dictionary. I mean, don't put the word into like a Strong's like Christian concordance. Anyways, for sake of argument, let's say this is talking about the Messiah, okay? According to Albee's position, how can the scepter depart from Judah without the Messiah coming? The Babylonian exile occurred before Jesus came. Now, can he answer that question? Right, because during the Babylonian exile, the scepter was taken away from Judah.
No, the scepter wasn't. Prove it. Again, prove it, because I don't care about your opinions. We have Josephus in Antiquities recording that the scepter departed from Judah from 6-7 AD. We have other people.
Wait, can you respond to my question?
No, don't speak over me.
Wait, I just asked you a question.
We have other people in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd century stating the fact that they were not able to enforce the Mosaic law. Therefore, the Messiah came, and woe is us, for he has come and we've missed them.
So you're not going to answer the question. I just asked you a question.
Now, once again,
my gosh, I just asked you a question.
Prove that they couldn't. Prove
here, people,
that they could.
If I just asked them a question,
hey, Asher, shut up 1 second.
Here, moderator.
Shut up 1 second.
I just asked him a question.
Yeah.
Okay. King Jeconiah was king in Judah. His scepter was stripped away. Remember, he was from the line of Judah. It was stripped away by Nebuchadnezzar after the first exile, the Babylonian exile. That means the scepter was taken away from Judah, and Jesus did not come for probably 600 years down the road.
He assumes that.
Like, can he explain that? But can he explain it to me? I'm asking him a question.
Even the rabbi, shut up. Good girl. Now,
let's not do that, please, Albee. Come on, Albee.
No.
Okay, so he's not going to answer the question again.
Even the rabbi. Will you shut your mouth, bro, before I pop you in the face, man? Like Proverbs 18:6 tells me to.
I'll give you my address. Look, everybody, write this down. Write this down. 4884 Southwest 38th Way. 4884 Southwest 38th Way, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. 4884 Southwest 38th Way. Okay.
How do I do
All right,
this?
so he's not going to answer the question. I just asked him a direct question.
Shut your mouth.
Look, he didn't answer my question. This is the second.
Ibn Ezra, you want to reset the room?
Yes, we're gonna reset. Please, we do not condone any violence. The only violence is Deuteronomy 13:10. If you lead the people of Israel away. Okay, so look, guys, brothers in humanity, please, this is not about us. This is about people being edified on this topic. These are great conversations. We have two brilliant, actually a lot of brilliant people on this panel, and I think it's important for us to convey our messages and what we believe to be true in a clear, concise, calm manner. Okay? So, Dre, I would suggest, if you don't mind, right, just keeping the queue between Albee and Rabbi Asher for the showtime, right? And then I would like to kind of get Coptic and Courtney to chime in, if you don't mind. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
So let's run it. I don't even know how to do this, but all right.
There's an order. Yeah, there's an order.
So as Pharaoh, okay, the one who built the pyramids and is in the land of Egypt, democracy is not good. This is dictatorship. So listen, Shabab. Number one, we want Albion obviously to discuss with Asha, but you could see Albee's frustration because he's not getting answers, in my opinion. When you keep asking a question, the other party's not giving you the answer, right? It becomes frustrating. It's like you're wasting your time. You get all these sources, you read all these sources, you give all these opinions from rabbis. Albee didn't make these interpretations. He didn't pull it out of a Christian dictionary. It's out of the same thing. But we're not getting any answers. There's no sources. I haven't heard anything like, oh, hey, this is the other opinion. Look what this guy said. And this is what becomes frustrating. So people in the audience can understand why Dre had to put this in Showtime, because of the frustration involved, which is rightly so. Thanks.
All right. Okay. For sake of argument, okay, I'm going to act like I believe that Shiloh means Messiah. Now, I'm going to ask him the question again. Being that this is not Israel's first exile, the first time Judah, the king of Judah, Jeconiah, was stripped from the scepter was during the Babylonian exile. This is around 600 years or so before the birth of Jesus. Doesn't that automatically disprove his point that this is referring to Jesus? That's it. That's a question.
All right, let's go on to Albee next.
Okay. What this Ikhra just said is the fact that Moses is a false prophet and that his prophecy in Genesis 49 verse 10 has failed because he said, for the argument's sakes, let's say I believe it. Okay, let's say you believe it. So that means Shiloh is the Messiah. The Messiah has never come, right? Because he should have came during the time of the Babylonian captivity because you believe it. But no, he never came. Therefore, Moses is a false prophet. Stop pretending you're a rabbi and go become a Muslim, which you're better off at doing since you hold.
Okay, so to answer his question, Zerubbabel wasn't king of Judah. He was governor of Judah. The last standing king of Judah was Jeconiah. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Hello?
All right, I can hear you now. I don't know what's going on. My bad.
Yeah, it's fine. All right, so then I'll repeat myself. So Zerubbabel was never king of Judah. He was governor of Judah. Whether he wore the signet ring, it's irrelevant. So I don't know how that's answering my question. Israel has had many exiles. I guess you could consider the Assyrian exile of the northern kingdom one of those exiles as well. They never repented. They never came back. If I would agree with some of the commentators to say that Shiloh means the Messiah, which they...
My bad.
Well, once again, he says some of the commentators. Show me the other commentators. One. Number two, you're saying that you disagree with the signet ring representing what? Authority, in which Jeconiah wore, and then Zerubbabel wears, according to Haggai chapter 2, verse 23, showing that he has authority. And you're speaking about the northern kingdoms. Hey, do you know your history? Do you realize that Genesis 49, verse 8 to 12 is talking about the king of Judah? And Genesis 49:10 is about Judah. That's the point. So that's the northern scatterings of Israel is irrelevant. The question that remains at hand is, do you believe that the Messiah came during the Babylonian captivity, since you believe that Shiloh is the Messiah, for argument's sake, as you said? If you don't have an answer, get the hell out of here. Go help the Muslims like you do.
I don't believe that Shiloh refers to the Messiah because it doesn't refer to the Messiah literally. Later commentators assume it's talking about something prophetical. It's not literally there. Again, that doesn't answer my question in terms of the Babylonian and the Roman exile. If the scepter was taken away, right, from Jeconiah, and who was it taken away from again? Bar Kokhba in the second exile. Bar Kokhba was also from the line of David. He was king for a short time till he was killed. So perhaps you don't know Jewish history enough, to even get your prophecies lined up. Okay, I know you believe in the Messiah. I'm not attacking you for believing in the Messiah. You could believe like in anyone as a Messiah. I judge you on the basis of keeping Torah or not keeping Torah. That's it. I mean, I think I've stayed pretty consistent. My answer may not be exactly what he's looking for, but I'm kind of waiting for the real questions to begin.
Once again, he doesn't answer the question, so he has no answer for the question. And then he says, for argument's sake, I will say that I believe that the Shiloh is a reference to the Messiah. And he keeps saying literally. Hey, dummy, I never said literally. I said it's an idiom that's well known by the rabbi, by the people, in which Shiloh holds to the fact that it's of the Messiah. Now, with that being said, according to the Babylonian Talmud, Sanhedrin 37b to 38a, which is on page 157 to 158, Rabbi Judah said, exile makes remission for three things. For it is written, thus saith the Lord, etc. He that abideth in the city shall die by the sword and by the famine and by the pestilence. But that goeth out and falleth away from the Chaldeans and beseech, he shall live, and his life shall be upon him for prey. Rabbi Johanan said, exile atones for everything, for it is written.
I think that he may be reading from Michael Brown's book.
I'm not done reading yet. I'm not done reading yet. I'm not done reading yet. Shut up, Asher. I'm not done reading yet. Thank you.
Hold on. I just ended the show. Please, just y'all try to like.
No, that's fine, bro. I can't stand these fake Jews that aren't Jews, really. That they go out and they hold hands with Muslims. They hold hands with Muslims and they to go oppress
Let's stick to the debate.
They hold hands with Muslims, Rabbi Ash?
No, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. He's just insulting me. He's running away from the debate.
Like we don't know, dude. Like we don't know.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I mean, I guess they have one thing in common, that I believe in Jesus, that I believe in the truth, Albee. So
let me finish reading.
You guys are a bunch of clowns.
Let me finish reading this thing. Thus saith the Lord, write ye this man childless. You got to mute up. Asher, let me read this.
You got background noise, Rabbi Asher, so I just muted you. Go ahead.
Okay. Regarding the same passage that I was reading from Babylonian Talmud, Sanhedrin 37b and 38a, thus said the Lord, write ye this man childless, a man that shall not prosper in his days, for no man of his seed shall prosper sitting upon the throne of David and ruling any more in Judah. Whereas after the king was exiled, it is written, and the sons of Jeconiah, the same is Asser, Shealtiel, his son, etc. He was called Asir, imprisoned, because his mother conceived him in prison. Shealtiel, because God did not plant him in the way that others are planted. We know by tradition that a woman cannot conceive in a standing position, yet she did conceive standing. Another interpretation, Shealtiel, because God obtained of the heavenly court absolution from his oath. Zerubbabel was so called because he was sown in Babylon, but his real name was Nehemiah, the son of Hachaliah. And this is out of the Babylonian Talmud. And then I got more references regarding this fact in which Jeconiah was repented, and that in his lifetime, he would be childless. He wouldn't see a child of his sitting upon his throne, referring to his lifetime. But we know that he repented, since a child of his, namely his grandson, did come and rule with the signet ring around his finger. That's Haggai chapter 2, verse 23. Now, going back to what we were saying, do you or do you not agree that Shiloh is an idiom for the Messiah? If you want to agree for the argument's sake, then you have to admit that the Messiah did not come during the Babylonian captivity. Therefore, Moses is a false prophet.
Okay, great. My turn to talk. I think you may be reading from Michael Brown's response on how Jeconiah cannot be a descendant of Jesus. That wasn't my question, by the way. Like, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant if he could, like, if repentance covers all sins. Like, how is that irrelevant? The scepter was still stripped from Judah during the Babylonian exile. It doesn't matter if you bring down Zerubbabel, Jeconiah. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't understand. And then on top of that, I think you know it doesn't matter because you're moving on to another question. Because that doesn't answer my question. Who cares? I mean, I have no issue like believing that Jesus is from the line of Jeconiah and is not invalidated. I mean, that doesn't bother me. But the scepter was taken away from Judah during the Babylonian exile. That's it. I mean, it's quite simple. I'm pretty sure that everyone understands that Albee is reaching here, because I don't think he knows Jewish history very well.
Okay, since you're basing your opinion on Jewish history, do you have any Jewish historian that would agree with you in the first 10 centuries of the Jews, AD, obviously? Do you have anybody that agrees with you that the scepter was taken away during the time of the Babylonian captivity? Your answer is going to be no. So I don't give a darn about your opinion. Give me sources. Come on, mods, get them to get sources. Otherwise, what are we doing?
The sources, Rabbi, sources, because without source, respectively,
sources
you've got
for
nothing.
What? Sources for what? The kingdom was overthrown.
Saying,
That's
bro,
what September.
Listen, you said
Okay.
when you say there's an opinion, okay, obviously there's an opposing opinion. Give us the
What's
source
the
of the other
question?
opinion.
Okay, if the question that the scepter will not depart from Judah, that means anything else other than the kingship will be overthrown, right? Like, is that what you're, like, want proof for? That you could be exiled, that your whole temple and throne could be destroyed and the scepter could still remain within Judah? Like, is that what he's saying? I mean, it just sounds weird to me. Like, I don't understand what the question is.
Dion, do you understand the question?
So,
this is. I guess this is. I guess maybe correct me if I'm wrong. It's a matter of authority, and where the authority would be placed. Do I understand you, Albee, correctly? I don't know if he's with us.
What I'm asking for at this point is just one source outside of Asher's opinion. That's it.
That affirmed, that the Mashiach, or the reference to, go ahead.
Sorry, Keon.
No,
that affirms that the scepter was taken away during the time of the Babylonian captivity, right? During the Babylonian captivity. And let me also do this. I want to apologize to my brothers and sisters on behalf of getting emotional. It's because of 1,400 years of Islamic persecution to the Christians, the Assyrians. And when this guy holds hands with them, it makes me sick to my stomach beyond belief. Otherwise, I've talked, Courtney can bear with it. I've talked to rabbis before. I don't treat them in contempt, like the way I treat this piece of garbage. That's all it is. So forgive me for losing it while my people are being crucified, their children crucified, and their women raped. Sorry. Can't stand this guy, man. That's why. And he wants to come here. He wants to come here and give us, www.opinions.com. I don't give a damn about your opinions. Give me sources or shut your mouth and get out of here, bro.
So in the argument, I guess where the foundation of where Rabbi Asher's position is saying that he believes because it's not definitive in terms of what the Torah says about what Shiloh is, other than it being a specific region or a place, then it just lends us up open to interpretation, which is fine, right? Further interpretation, which is okay. And you're saying, well, I'm taking the majority consensus of what Jewish contemporary scholars would say about this verse or what Shiloh is. So I'm actually on here on Chabad. I don't know if you accept Chabad or Asher as...
Are we allowed to speak, or is it still?
Go ahead, Courtney. Go ahead. And copy Prince for that matter.
And copy, yeah.
Okay, so the vast majority of Judaism accepts that Genesis 49:10 is about the future Messiah. There are, if memory serves me, and I'm outside my kids, I've been with my kids all day today, but there is, I think, hold on one second, guys. There is one opinion where it seems as though they are making a connection to David, but then there's a secondary contrary opinion to that says it is impossible. I think it's Abraham something or another, I can't remember his name, I'm going from memory, that makes the assertion it is impossible for this Shiloh to be David, because this is a reference since before David. So it has to be of David's sons, meaning the lineage for which the Messiah would come. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be the best bet for you, Asher, but I think it's best you probably just concede that the vast majority of Judaism accepts that this is about the Mashiach, and that you personally don't accept that, and then explain to Albee why it is that you personally don't accept that, and why you think it's not obligatory for you to accept. I think that's where Albee is wanting to go, and understand why you take that your position the way that you do.
Okay.
Thank you, Courtney.
Okay, fine. All right, so we'll go back and to the notion of Shiloh.
Sorry, give me a second. No. I'm just going to say I'll get that source. I'm coming inside now.
Okay. All right. First, I have to note that he didn't answer my question regarding the Babylonian exile, but we'll get back to it. Now, what you're referencing is the Judah part, not the Shiloh part. It says that the scepter will not depart from Judah until Shiloh comes. That has nothing to do with specifically the Messiah. The messianic connection is Judah. The belief in Judaism is that the Messiah will come from Judah. In terms of that referring to David or descendants of David, that's regarding the phrase Judah, not regarding the phrase Shiloh. No one knows definitively what that means. Everyone has opinions. I acknowledge there's some opinions that teach that it's the Messiah, right? If you take it literally, you would have no opinion because no one understands. That word is never used in reference of a person nowhere in the Torah. That's my point. But I would concede and say, fine, okay, let's assume it's talking about the Messiah. How could that be anyway tied to what Albee is talking about if the scepter departed from Judah during the first Babylonian exile? The scepter departing means that leadership was overthrown. The priesthood, the Sanhedrin, the king was no more. That's what it means that the scepter departed. People who don't know about the Babylonian exile only know about the Roman exile, right? Because their Jewish history begins with the New Testament, not with the book of Ezra and Nehemiah or Jeremiah or Ezekiel or anything that depicts the Babylonian exile. That's it. I mean, I don't think I'm giving over inaccurate information. Shiloh literally doesn't mean Messiah, just like Judah doesn't literally refer to the Messiah either, right? If we're going to believe that the Messiah comes from Judah, which is an extracurricular belief, the Torah doesn't even talk about directly the notion of the Messiah, fine, okay, but how is that fulfilled by someone who lived 600 years, around 600 years, after the first time that the scepter was stripped away from Judah? That's what my question is. That's it.
Okay.
When he says the first time the scepter was stripped, I want evidence for that and not his damn opinion. Can I get that from the mods, please. Enforce that in them. I don't care about opinions. Take a hike with your opinion. I have Josephus over here, which says that in Antiquities 17... Somebody has to mute up, bro. This guy has to mute up, man. In Antiquity 17:13, okay, it says that around 6-7, let me read it. It says, and now Archelaus, part of Judea, was reduced into a province, and Coponius, one of the equestrians, order of the Romans, was sent as procurator, having the power of life and death put into his hands by Caesar. Now, this happened in 6-7 AD. That means the right to enforce the Mosaic law was removed from the Sanhedrin in 6-7 AD. That means the Messiah had to come before 6-7 AD. Well, lo and behold, he's come. Even the Jews understood it in this way, since we have the Targum of Onkelos understanding what Shiloh means. The transmission of dominion. This is Targum of Onkelos in Genesis 49:10. It says, the transmission of dominion shall not cease from the house of Judah, nor the scribe from his children's children forever until Messiah comes. Targum of Jonathan. Kings and rulers shall not cease from the house of Judah until King Messiah comes. The Targum of Yerushalmi. Kings shall not cease from the house of Judah until the time of the coming of the King Messiah, to whom all the dominions of the earth shall be subservient. The Babylonian Talmud in Sanhedrin 98b, Rabbi Johanan said, the world was created for the sake of the Messiah. What is this Messiah's name? The school of Rabbi Shelah said, his name is Shiloh, for it is written, until Shiloh comes. Now, with that being said, further evidence that we have of this is what I read regarding James, the Lord's brother, when James was being stoned. It says, after the death of the procurator Festus, even Albinius was about to succeed him. The high priest Ananias considered it favorable opportunity to assemble the Sanhedrin. He therefore caused James, the brother of Jesus, who was called Christ, and several others to appear before this hastily assembled council, and pronounced upon them the sentence of death by stoning. All the wise men, except for Asher, and strict observers of the law, except for Asher, who were at Jerusalem, expressed their disapprobation of this act. Some even went to Albinius himself, who had departed to Alexandria, to bring this breach of the law under his observation, and to inform him that Ananias had acted illegally in assembling the Sanhedrin without the Roman authority. Moreover, Rabbi Ruchmon in the Talmud also says, when the members of the Sanhedrin found themselves deprived of their right over life and death, a general consternation took possession of them. They covered their heads with ashes and their bodies with sackcloth, exclaiming, woe unto us, for the scepter has departed from Judah, and the Messiah has not come. Therefore, Asher, why aren't you covering your head in sackcloth and ashes, seeing that Shiloh has, the scepter has departed, and according to you, the Messiah has not come? Prove to me that Shiloh is not the Messiah, a reference to him, an idiom for him. Any Jew that would agree with this in the first 10 centuries after Christ, if you can't, prove then that the scepter departed from from Jessoniah during the time of the Babylonian captivity. Prove it. I don't care about www.opinions.com. Give me evidence. If you don't, get the hell out of here.
Again, yeah. I mean, I think I'm going to have to get the heck out of here because I don't think I understand what he's looking for. I mean, the idea.
Asher, I mean, I thought.
No. Okay.
No, I mean, help you explain it.
No. I hear that he's going in circles asking the same question. Okay, Courtney, do you acknowledge that the scepter departed from Judah after the Babylonian exile? Yes or no, Courtney?
I do not.
So in terms of scepter, like, we're not reading this literally.
Right. I don't think that you're understanding in the way that he is.
No. Okay. So literally, let's say. No. Okay. Not okay. You're saying that I have to understand it in the way that he believes it, but literally, did the scepter? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Do you literally believe?
You.
No, I know, but I'm asking you the question. Literally, but do you think that literally the scepter was stripped away from Judah during the Babylonian exile? Yes or no?
No, I don't.
Literally,
think
you
it
don't?
Was, no,
literally.
No, I don't, because I believe that the scepter is connected to more than just like having a king, right?
I know. I said according to the literal reading. I'm not saying according to your theological beliefs. According to the literal meaning, if you have a kingship, and that kingship is overthrown by some other nation.
No, I don't accept that. And the reason I don't accept that is because we have other texts for which, like Albee has read, that substantiates that the use isn't just that they can't adjudicate, that the king can't adjudicate. It's not the only use, right? Which is why I made mention, and by the way, the source is Rabbi Abraham Ibn Ezra, who asserts that Shiloh is a reference to David. Is impossible for Judah never possessed a royal scepter prior to David. So he's basically saying that Genesis 49:10 is a prophecy and that it can't be asserted for a time in that era, that it has to be understood in the future sense. And so this is, according to the Ramban, Nachmanides, hold on one second, I'm landing. Nachmanides, but Nachmanides had an agenda. Nachmanides, I'm sure you know, had a huge debate with a Christian. Usher, I'm not. You got.
We're dialoguing from a different perspective. I'm reading it according to what it literally says.
Well,
you're saying no.
Okay. I don't either. Then, yeah.
Okay.
So then it's
obviously
just too far apart.
Because you're both Christians. If you read it literally, it doesn't mean that. Can you give me an example? An example how the scepter being removed from a certain kingship means that even in exile, the authority still exists.
What? No, Asher, it's not
literally.
Asher, you got to let me tell you what I'm saying it means.
I know. Okay. You can't tell me what it means. The literal meaning is the only meaning. Okay. If you're going to discuss it from an academic perspective, nobody knows what Shiloh means. You know, that means anything
Shiloh
said on
coming from Shalah. Hold on, I'm going to go back. Means to it means to just be like at peace, or to have like a to feel tranquil.
Yeah, completeness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how are you getting any literality out of that? Just using that one word,
because it's talking about a specific person. I'm saying that we don't know what that word means. When one word regarding a specific individual is not used anywhere in the Torah, you can't say I know what it means specifically. Rabbis could theorize what they think it means, but when you're trying to discuss a text, first you have to read it literally and put your dogmatic beliefs aside. Okay, but you guys are failing to do that. To assume that after the first destruction of the temple, and after the destruction of the kingship from David, that meant that the scepter didn't depart. I know if you're a Christian, you can't believe that because it goes against your theology. But according to Jewish history, the scepter was gone from Judah. The authority to rule was gone. Not just the kingly authority, but even the Sanhedrin, even the priestly authority.
Hold on, you're conflating two things. This is okay. Like, I'd love for y'all just to focus on, like, if you're gonna quote from source history, then it would behoove you to actually use that history, Asher. You can't just say history says, but then when Albee goes and reads that history, you don't agree with it, right? So you say that's opinion, okay. But the point being is, if you go to the use of this, you're never gonna derive something other than it being prophetic from the use of Genesis 49:10, because it's the only time in that inflected form that it's used in the Hebrew Bible. And so if you're going to look at that and you're going to say, no, it doesn't mean that, you have to then give him source material that he is then going to be able to battle against, right? And then from there, go into the other extracurricular stuff. But I feel like y'all are too far apart. You're not even in agreement about what Shiloh means.
No, correct. Because anytime you guys come to a passage that's a bit cryptic, that we don't know exactly what it means, you automatically assume it's prophetical. Why? Because that's what your religion tells you to do. However, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. If there was an irreligious person here who would study the text from an academic perspective, right? And I don't know how you consider him bringing down religious texts as historical evidence when they're also talking about some messianic appearance. Historically, the scepter departed. There's no other opinion on that. Now, There are many rabbis who believe that Shiloh has to do with the Messiah. What does it have to do with the literal meaning of Genesis chapter 49? Theology aside, it means that Judah would not rule in Israel. His scepter would be taken away. That's all it means. Okay, and to deny that that happened during the Babylonian exile means that any status you had as an academic really has to be in question. Because
wait, hold on. Wait, Asher, you're questioning my academics now?
For sure.
Asher Meza, come on.
Because you're failing to make a distinction between the literal meaning, right, and your theology.
Let's make the distinction. Hold on. I've asked you twice now to let's make that distinction. I don't think it's fair that you question my academicness, like in light of the fact that I've asked you to demonstrate. I went to the root word. You agreed it means like tranquility or like
fine.
Peace. Okay, so that's
as
academic as you can go. Like we're at the root word. Okay, so it's used in the inflected form in Genesis 49:10 one time. In what way can you derive this means a specific thing from this one verse without linking it to prophetic words? Please explain.
Oh, we don't know. That's the thing. You're looking for a definitive response. We don't know exactly what it's referring to. Now, what we do know.
But then
wait, hold on. What we do know.
Who's the we that he's talking about? Can you get an answer for that, please?
The literal meaning is ultimately the only meaning in terms of the scepter departing.
Source. Asher.
It literally says that the scepter will not depart till the scepter means what makes him authoritative. That's what it means. That's all it means. Okay.
Okay, wait. Can you demonstrate that?
We're clear.
Wait. Asher, can you please demonstrate that?
That the scepter will not depart from Judah. Mm-hmm. That means.
What is the pashat? What is the pashat of that?
Well, the pashat is that Judah will rule, and that the scepter will not depart until Shiloh comes. The question is, we don't know what Shiloh is. If it's a person, if it's a time, you are convinced that it has to do with the Messiah.
The obedience of all the people will be to him. Who's the obedience to all the people going to be to?
The verse is not clear. By the simple fact that we're debating this, it means it's not clear. You're saying it's clear.
Who is the obedience to all the people
Courtney's credentials are in question when she's not able to separate between the literal meaning.
Like you got cooked on Clubhouse by me.
I don't think anybody thinks that I'm cooked. I don't think. Courtney,
now stop holding hands with Muslims like Tovia Singer.
First of all, like I did.
Before you get cooked again and destroyed.
I never held hands with a Muslim. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, Courtney, your credentials are in question.
He's saying.
Okay, if you can't make a distinction between what's literally there, what we don't know, means, right? Like we don't know what a word means. You can't say, I know it means this. You could say that you think it means this, right? And I agree. Some rabbis think it means that, but it literally can't mean a concept that wasn't developed at that time. Because you're saying, well, the notion of the Messiah is clearly a later understanding.
This is where we disagree with you. This is, and we have academic. Yes, Asher.
So show me, so kings are not anointed in the Torah, first of all.
I understand this.
Okay.
Hold on. You got to give me a chance. Like you're sitting here. I don't think it's fair that you question like whether I'm.
I don't think it's fair.
It's difficult to hear you, Asher. Can you just mute for just a second, please?
Just a second, Rabbi? Yeah, because it's loud. You got a lot of background noise. All right, thank you. Go.
It feels a little unfair that I was saying that this is a passage. I gave you the source, the Ramban, okay? And I quoted what he said, and then I gave a refutation from another rabbi that says, is it impossible to be, and this is showing you it's prophetic, it is impossible that it is pre-David, meaning before David or David's time, because this is a reference to his generations to come. Okay. Now you then say, because I don't separate the theology from the linguistics, when I demonstrated to you that linguistically we could make an argument that it is in relation to the theology. And I asked you to explain how it is that you derive the linguistics from this passage, which would, I guess, cause you to question any background or knowledge that I may have. I'm not an academic, by the way, but I know what you mean by that word. But the point is I've asked you like 3 times to tell me why I'm wrong in asserting that this is future of the Messiah and that it is an individual And I've not heard anything other than that personal ad hominem towards me. And I think I'm trying to be honest here. And I gave you a source so that you could give it to Albee, and then Albee could look it up, and then you two could go back and forth about it. Like, I'm trying to be as honest and non-biased as possible, which is what I'm known for, which is why I get the crap, beat out of me sometimes when I'm in these rooms with Jews and Christians and Muslims, because I'm honest sometimes when it hurts my own side. Honesty is what I stand on. Integrity. Okay. So please don't say that.
So you misrepresented why I said that your credentials are in question. When you said that the scepter departing from Judah did not occur during the Babylonian exile, that's when I said that your credentials are in question because you're not able to make a distinction between what's literally there and your theology. That's when I said it. In terms of Shiloh, I know that you don't know what Shiloh means. I know that you think you know what Shiloh means, and that's fine. There are many rabbis who also think that it's referring to a figure, to a concept that didn't exist till after the Torah was written. But you're not making a distinction between what we know and what we think we know. That's why, if you're going to publicly say that the scepter did not depart from Judah, then yes, your credentials are in question.
Okay, so as I've stated again, would you please demonstrate to me what Shiloh means in light of the scepter? Thank you.
Nobody knows. That's why there's so many different opinions. Nobody knows.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. But
you can't debate opinion. That you can only debate facts.
Okay, that's fine.
That's the thing.
Fine,
you guys want to debate opinions all day. I don't care about opinions.
Asher, can you hear me?
You're building a doctrine based off of opinion.
Let's talk about Shavit. Okay, hold on. Wait.
Yeah, but what's the point?
Come on.
No.
Can I get the
let's talk about
what's the point?
Can you
how are you going
to scepter? Shavit. Let's talk about it.
Who cares?
Courtney, can you read this for a second? Hold on one second.
No. Okay.
Hold on one second.
You guys only have one verse to use against me, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've debated many Christians.
There's just this one
and it's
verse.
just an opinion.
Calm down.
Fine.
Don't get nervous.
No, I'm not getting nervous.
I don't care about your opinion. Hold on one second.
Well, simple fact, you keep on insulting me, bro. I mean, in person, I wish you would insult me. No, I'm just saying.
The Muslims.
Hold on, guys. No, guys, you can't. You got to take this off. Turn it around, Hannah.
Hold on.
It's on wrong. You got to turn it around.
That's it. It's opinion. That's it.
And take it off.
This is a verse based on opinion. You're building a whole religion
calm down.
because of opinion?
Mute up.
It? No.
Courtney, you there? Mute up, Asher.
It's silly.
You're out of breath, Asher. Mute up. We don't need to hear you breathing. Okay.
Hold on.
Courtney.
Oh, baby, you got to stop doing that. Hold on.
Can you guys everybody needs to mute for a second because it's too much background noise.
I'm sorry, all my kids. Hold on.
It's okay.
I'm just gonna go because we're stuck on one verse. I'm just saying.
Before you
we're stuck on one verse.
Rabbi, let's just read this thing that he has up real quick.
But who cares? Who cares?
We care. Now hold on one second, Asher, before you run. Let's read it. Of course. We're stuck on one verse is because, he has to admit Moses is a false prophet. That's why I originally brought up this verse. And what does it say? The late Hebrew embryo plus suffix equals what? His son. Right?
Yep. That's what Shiloh means, his son.
And that's why he ran.
All right. I'm turning the comments back on, guys. I just turned it off for a second.
Allow me to say
There's
this.
a lot of background noise. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Albee.
No, that's okay. Did you see this, Courtney?
What is it? Okay, yeah. Yeah, it should. Let me see. 49:10 and down. Oh, yeah. His son, which is... Okay, hold on, guys. 1 second. My kids. So that's what I was trying to bring down, that he says it's impossible for it to be of David himself, right? Unless you're just taking Davidic line, because of the fact that if you go linguistically, it shows our argument can be made. But I don't know.
And allow me once again, just to apologize. What happened to the comments? I wouldn't be as harsh if this guy wasn't known to hold hands with Muslims on Clubhouse, right? And it just disgusts me. I just can't. I can't stand it. He's a Tovia singer to me, no more, no less. But with that being said, this is the whole reason why I brought up the verse of Genesis 49:10, because I know he stays within the Torah. Okay, you stay within the Torah. Now, what are you gonna do?
Hey, God bless everybody.
God bless, brother.
Hey,
Say something. Albee, everybody. God bless everybody.
Hold on. Coptic Prince left. I wanted to make sure he wanted. I know he was waiting for a minute. All right, yeah, go ahead, Amir.
He ran from me, so you guys know. But anyway, I'm just kidding. I love the brother. But anyway, so like I know, like Dre, you didn't want, get distracted, because they were going back and forth. So I was on your live, right? I had to come up to your live because when he was running his mouth, calling Albee and Sam as idiots, right? Like 2 weeks ago, was it? So you remember that, Dre?
Yeah, that was like a month ago. Yeah.
A month ago, yeah. So I promised him, and I said, so you're not gonna run your mouth behind them, backbiting. Like when there is a chance, you're gonna have an intellectual conversation with him, right? Look who ran right now. Who is an idiot now?
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that kind of stuff, Amir. Like, I'm cool off that. Like, we can all see what happened and who had sources and who didn't, who made a point and who didn't. I don't have to insult anybody. I don't have to say nothing. Everybody can make their own opinions.
Part of it.
No.
I'm not with it.
Understand me, brother. I'm not saying that. Like him, he was the one who was insulting behind, like real men, right? So I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I told him not to do that too, and that I would set up the debate, and it happened. And when in God's timing, the debate happened. It just went down right now, and I think Albee made a solid point. Courtney made a solid point.
Guys, yeah.
And there was no sources. Unfortunately, I personally didn't see any sources from Rabbi Asher. No knock on him, but I didn't see any. I didn't see any responses. Shiloh clearly states right there, we can go to it. It says embryo, son, which completely points to only one person, which is Yeshua, and we can't negate that, in my opinion. Or you can, but I don't think it's intellectually honest.
Yeah, definitely. So, like next time when he runs his mouth, just remind him, guys, because we should be like respecting each other. We should be not talking behind, especially if you're a man. That's what I wanted to know. God bless you.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem. God bless you,
I just wanted to dive into Shivet because he's saying that he doesn't, and I understand why he's saying that. Like, okay, get it, fine. Okay, so let's go into the next linguistic argument. So, which would be Shivet, which is the scepter. And how are you? And he's not here anymore. I'm going to ask him personally though, because I don't know, the question it kind of felt a little low key personal. So. I'm going to ask him, how is it? And I wish you were here for it. Asher, if you're here, please come up. But the point is how are we deriving what it means in this verse, since this is only used this one time here throughout all of the Torah, how we're going to assert what this word means. And I mean, if we're going to say that scepter in a very narrow, super, super narrow way means that Judah would be conquered, then Asher's point would be correct. And I think that's where the difference was. And I was trying to get to that, but then my kids, and so I don't do this, I do organized, formatted, moderated debates on YouTube because I have kids, guys. But the point that I'd like everyone to look at is if we're going to be narrow and we're going to say that scepter just means Judah was conquered by another nation, and it doesn't have anything to do with lineage, and it doesn't have anything to do with still having the rulers like Zerubbabel, who would be identified metaphorically as a king, but not literally as a king, even though he wore the signet ring, which is why Albee made reference to it would be Habakkuk, if memory serves me correctly. Albee,
chapter verse 23.
Is it Habakkuk? Did I get that right?
Haggai 2.
Or Haggai, my bad. You're right. No Sorry, I apologize.
No worries.
And if you're gonna be nuanced, then give us then secondary sources. Say this is why here in this verse, this is your primary source. This primary source indicates that we can take a very narrowed view of what Shivet or the scepter means, and then give a secondary source that would then back that up. I wasn't seeing that, so I was trying to dive into the linguistics a little bit harder, because if we're going to make linguistic arguments, then those need to stick unilaterally unless you're seeing an expanded inflected form. Because when you go into inflected forms, that's when things start to change a little bit, but you can still derive some context from the original. And so that's where my next point was going to go, but he left before I got a chance to go there. So if anyone knows of a passage which would indicate that, let me know. But I don't see that. What I see is like Psalm 45 tells us that your throne, O God, right, will last forever. A scepter of justice will be a scepter of your kingdom. So you can see the correlation between scepter and kingdom. And so if Asher is making that correlation, and because Babylon came in and took over, then therefore they didn't have their own, quote, kingdom, I can see why he would make that. But that's not the only passage that we have. So here, scepter is correlated with justice, not necessarily ruling over oneself, but justice. So when we step back and we look at all of the Tanakh, we get an overall view that I think favors what Albee's position was trying to demonstrate, which is why I think Asher made the stance that he did about the theology for me. Because Asher and I went back and forth. We have a debate on this. Okay, so it's not like he didn't already know my stance. But the point that I wanted to get at is let's get down to the linguistics and then widen out from there. Because if you guys are too far apart, which Albee and him were way too far apart, and they were speaking past each other, no one's ever going to come to any conclusions. So that's why I was just trying to help. And I feel like I just made it worse. And that was not my intent. Just so everyone knows.
No, I think you did great. I think you clarified it. King Silv, I know you wanted to come up. If you want to come up, you're more than welcome to. I just didn't want to let people up while the debate was going. And
I know Coptic wants to talk, bro. I just want to say it's not that we were too far apart. I was standing on Genesis 49:10. He kept on trying to maneuver out of there. All I'm asking for is noopinions.com. That's it. That was it. Bring me sources that hold